Hi Christina. So the easiest thing to do is just to show you a thing. So if I look at your XML file, this is what it looks like. It's actually pretty straightforward because it's a single block of text all the way through there, and all the values you've got to translate here are going to be these, the value. The rest are just keys. These are key pairs, probably from some software or something like that. It might be nice to be able to see what these key pairs are, but I don't believe you translate the keys. You're only going to translate the value. You can check that with your client, but I just can't imagine you translate things like address.phone, address.street. Very unlikely. You might break the software. One interesting thing I noticed is that this has a language block and it has a namespace. So it could well be that you've got bigger files that contain different blocks of text with different languages. So we'll try and cater for that. You've only given me one for German, so maybe they're separate files, but it won't make any difference. If it's only one file, this solution will work. If it contains multiple languages in the one single file, I think that will work as well. I didn't test it, but I think it'll work. So here's what we're going to do. All we need to do is to pick out the value of this attribute, and it's consistent all the way through, which makes it simple. The namespace is just the complicated bit. So to do it, you go to File, Options, File Types, and click on New, then XML2. Give it a name, so we'll call it the language XML ST4, for example. You can call it whatever you like. I normally copy that and make the file identifier the same name because it just makes it easier to see if you ever use the file identifier. So the little orange tabs, I'll show you in a minute. Whatever you type in here is what will show up, and so you'll know for sure that you used the right file type when you open the file, just in case there was a problem. Now we click on Next. Have XPath rules or element rules. We'll go for the XPath rules because that just gives us a bit more flexibility. We create an XML file based on the default settings or based on an existing file. So we'll use this one and select the XML file you were given to give us the basis for the file type. We click on Next. Oops, sorry, no we don't. We click on Browse to go and get the file first. Pick up the language file. Then we click on Next. And you can see it's picked up the root element name, which is correct. It's picked up the namespace, which is important. Otherwise, you'd have to manually create that yourself. And it's created three parser rules based on what it saw. It's unlikely to work like this because you can test it. So now there's the file type. If I browse and pick your language file and preview, you see nothing gets pulled up. And that's because by default, people don't normally translate attribute values. It's not the best way of doing things, but it does happen and you can do it. So you need to create your own rules specifically to pick that up once you've got the main file type in there. So we will edit those parser rules. So we click on parser rules, and I'll just get rid of all of those because I don't really need them. It's the easiest way to do it. And we'll create some new ones. So we're going to first of all create a rule that to avoid all doubt, this means select everything and make it translatable no. So that means don't pull anything out of the file at all. We'll then add a new rule, and this time we're going to create the XPath expression. So it's a little bit complicated because of the namespace. So we're going to go for, that's to get the namespace first of all, the L colon. That's an L colon, lowercase l. Then we want lang block because that was the root of your file, or rather that's essentially, yeah, that's the namespace. It's the root of the file. Then we want a rule to go and get the attribute value. So we'll say at XML colon lang equals DE. So we're making sure that we only pick up the German. This is the bit I was telling you about. I've missed something there. That's better. DE. Lang equals DE. So we're only going to pull out the languages when it's got the lang block DE. That's what I was saying about you might have files that contain multiple languages. If you don't, it doesn't matter, it'll still be fine. But if you have, it maybe gives you the opportunity to extend your rules and have one for FR, IT, or whatever other blocks you've actually got. So it's easy for you to change it. So / and then we want, again, the namespace in text, and then the attribute value at value, like that. I think that will do it. And then translate yes, say OK. If we just test that quickly and preview that file, there we go. So it pulls everything out. Now what we can also do, so you see, look, the namespace is in there, that's coming from the file. What we can also do, we can add a little preview in there. I don't expect you to know how to do that, but I can tell you I didn't do it myself either. I just stuck the file into a bit of AI and said, create me a style sheet. And the style sheet needs to be XSL. And if I look at that, it looks like this. It's a very simple one, but it should look fairly neat. And so I'll give you the style sheet as well. But if I just then go to my preview, select the style sheet. What the style sheet I asked it to do when I created it was to allow me to be able to preview the, in fact, I'll show you, I'll just close that. But if I've got a little tool that can work with this. If I take your XML in the style sheet and I send it to my preview XML, a little PowerShell script, you can see what it looks like. It's opened on my other screen. But it looks like that. It renders the file into something like this. So you have all the values and you have the keys down one side. So it's just quite a neat way of being able to work, and Trotter Studio can use that. So what I do is now if I just create a single file project, so I'll open that up, flick it around, we should get all of the stuff is pulled out. And if I just generate the preview, there's the preview, and you can see it's quite functional because as I move down, look at that, it moves down, shows you where you are. It's quite neat, and I think it's clickable too, and it should work and position you in the screen on the other side. So you might find that useful. It's just a little nicety, but it lets you see the keys as you're working. So that's it. That's how you create it. I'll give you the video, I'll give you the files I created, and you should be good to go.